Hello and welcome back to the inside of my house. Now another stage of the renovation has started. It's been a while, but it has to happen as feel that I'm slowly sinking through the floor. So the living room has been tidied up. Most of the furniture is gone. There's just a couch, the carpet and the TV left. The rest over here is gone. So I also took apart the nice shelf that I made. I started taking off the wallpaper. The plan is for this wooden floor, the whole wooden floor in the living room will be replaced with a concrete floor as the wood is done. Basically it's rotten on the underside, it's been eaten up, it cannot breathe, and it's just no longer viable to replace with wood or anything, so just better concrete and that should be done for life. So you're wondering, is the floor really so bad? I've already cut a piece away and I put this plank on it just to prevent, hoping that some bugs won't come up. So here's the floor. I already put some radiators, the cast iron radiators I cut up and just dropped straight down. I'll just turn on the basement light and then we can see a bit better. Alright, I turned the light on. There we can see the pieces of radiator I cut up. It's a good filling material. So this floor here is basically just powder. And as I say, it got the feeling it's slowly sinking a bit. And eventually I'm sure if this is not handled, I would end up in the basement or the cellar, and that is about 2 meters deep. That can be quite a hole. So this is some of the wood I already removed from here. We can see it's nicely eaten up on both sides. It could not breathe because there's vinyl. This vinyl does not breathe. Then there's this cement glue layer that doesn't breathe. You're thinking, is there any ventilation in the basement? There is only one opening, which is situated somewhere over there below. So there's only one opening and no others. The other one for some reason has been closed in with concrete before I moved in. So there's no airflow really underneath it, which results in any moisture that comes through the walls. And it has to go somewhere, so it goes into the wood and it starts rotting out and the bugs eat it. Also, this floor is pine floor. I don't know if it's Douglas or not. Douglas is usually quite resistant to woodworm, so it might just be normal pine, which is also not as resistant as oak. This beam here is in this section here it's not too bad, but moving to the left it's quite bad. Moving to the right it's also a bit worse. So that's the plan. Obviously it will take quite a bit to fill that up. I've already cast some concrete in the basement to build a wall so that this portion here can be filled, as the water meter is located down there. We still need to keep access to the water meter. If the water meter was not there, I would just be filling the whole basement in. So then they built these nice lovely brick walls on top of a wooden beam. That wooden beam is secured to the floor, so that's nice lovely extra weight on top of this floor, which is already a bit weak. There's no insulation, so you can see there's no insulation, so really not too much of a use of having this type of wall here. So this wall will be removed, then the insulation will be added and a plasterboard wall will go up, which is much easier than having a brick wall. So I've left the radio in place to listen to music whilst I'm working. They did have these vents in place that made it pretty cold in winter, so obviously hoping that this will make it a bit warmer in winter. Also, it's currently quite light outside, yet the living room is quite dark. This space here used to be a window, It was closed in probably by the previous owners in order to make a closet here, as the previous owner could no longer go upstairs, so she slept down here. That's why there's a light switch on the cord, and this was the closet. So, big project ahead. Let's have a look in the basement and I can tell you what I've been doing there and hopefully explain it a bit better. Alright, welcome to the basement. It's not really a pleasant place to be, but we will hopefully change that a little bit in the future. The idea is to cover this floor with concrete, as now it's soil. There's also soil there, but that will all be covered up. A wall will be built along here, so to keep the rubble on that side. As I said, the water meter is over there. You need to keep access to the water meter. Every year in October, the water meter reader has to come inside and then read the meter. It's not really the ideal situation, but can't really do much about it. So this is how it's looking. So it is standing height in between the beams. You can stand up, and as such it's quite a way to fill. So when I'm working here, I do wear a bicycle helmet to protect my head from knocking against the beams. So here's all of some of the block, the rest is outside to build up here. Those pillars we constructed 2 years ago. There's already tension on it, so it tells me that the beam has sagged. So we can remove this one and the other wooden post over here so that I can build up. So this is probably also the first tour of the basement that I've given. The floor or the soil was in places 20 centimeters thicker, over there about 30 centimeters thicker, that I dug out in order to create a bit more of a level space. You can kind of see the old line here on the ladder. But it's pretty much keeping busy. We can see this nice powdery beam. This beam here should be fine, as the woodworm only attacks the softwood on the outside and the center should be hard and solid. However, with these other beams, this one underneath the kitchen aren't too bad, but we'll go and show you the beams that fall underneath the living room. And why? Because at the moment, if I walk in the living room, the furniture shakes, even if I just tiptoe around. So not really ideal. You can see all of the powder, you can see the mold. It's not really the greatest. So the left side is still stronger than the right side. It doesn't really give confidence, whilst also the span of the beams underneath the kitchen, you can see it's a lot less. That of course helps with strength. This one's a little bit longer. Still though, it's not great. I already started putting all of the scrap here. Here we go. This is one of the reasons why it needs to be changed, because this is all rotten. It's pretty soft here. And this is the beam we see from inside, which from this side doesn't look too bad, but we have some nice rotting going on over here. It's, as I say, Not a pleasant space to be in, also not a great space if you don't like spiders and other creepy crawlies. Oh dear. And then this beam over here, again next to the wall, is not so good. Right above my head right here is actually the stairs. So the stairs are, I'm not quite sure how this supported, hanging from the second level. Partly of course should be supported on the floor, but again not too sure how. Here this beam doesn't look too bad. You can see it's quite a thick beam. So I read this beam, on average a wooden beam like this should hold about a ton, but who knows. So I did bring the supplies down here because I'm working by myself. It's easy just to mix cement and concrete right down here. I fill up the water buckets and off I go. Alright, thanks for watching. Just thought I'd let you know what's been happening here. And I'll see you all on the next update.